What's going on, guys? Sorry for the very late delay. Just had a few things I had to take care of. So tonight I wanted to talk about a couple of things, in particularly got to do with women's strength and conditioning in relation to women's football, Australian rules football, for those who are from overseas viewing this. And I think the biggest question that let's rewind a bit. I had a conversation with a former AFL player, and we discussed that just some of the issues that he's a big proponent of women's football, coaches on how to coach female footballers. And we kind of discussed this issue of injuries and some of the biggest things that are popping up in relation to women's football, even at the junior level and representative level. And one of the things that we discussed is, we discussed ACLs, hamstrings, and concussion. Which is ACLs. Apparent, a lot of representative programs are doing a lot of ACL preventative. Have an ACL preventative program that a lot of their junior athletes run, which is awesome to hear. Then the second part, also the hamstrings, kind of comes into the ACLs. Then the third part was actually concussion. And we discussed concussion, and for people who don't really understand concussion is not basically taking a hard hit. Essentially, it's basically the whiplash effect, right? So if you take a tackle and you go limp, and you hit the ground, your neck sloshes back and forth. What's contained on your neck is your head, and what's in your head, your brain. And what happens is your brain sloshes back and forth, and within that, and actually hits the inside of the skull. So basically, it's this hard impact from more the fall and the whiplash actually leads to the concussion or concussion-like symptoms for the athlete. And we discussed that there needs to be some sort of strength and conditioning program or some sort of preventative program or strength training for the female athletes, especially because their muscle mass, majority of the female anatomy, the majority of the muscle mass is in the lower body, not in the upper body. That's just because of just evolutionary processes. So females, childbearing, so therefore they need more muscle mass in the lower structures in order to support the child, which is around the midsection. For men, they have more muscle mass around the mid and upper body, not so much on the lower body. And we basically came to the conclusion that more needs to be done in terms of educating parents in order to prevent these injuries from occurring. But also, it's almost like a disservice if someone who's in the strength, who understands strength and conditioning and women's football, it's almost a disservice not saying that your child, she needs to really get into the gym, but also be guided along the process of actually how to become strong, how to support themselves, how to perform better. So it actually transfers onto the field. So you're actually basically, it's a mouth guard essentially. It's more of a form of protection or help to reduce the severity of these certain injuries. ACLs is basically you just do an ACL, but hamstrings, you can pull hamstring, you have different grades. Concussion, potentially you might be able to actually fight out of the tackle. You might not just fall limp. You might be able to support yourself if you've undergone the appropriate strength training. Then we kind of moved on from this. The same person, still talking, and we basically discussed a simple concept of the correlation of achieving high levels of strength and basically the learning curve of acquiring certain skills. Now, for the parents who are out there who want their child to be successful in whatever sport, I do suggest this strength training under guidance in order to give appropriate progressions for the child to progress at an appropriate rate. In saying that, what I would want to say is strength training can help enhance that. So let me give an example of myself, right? So I've been getting into golf, long drive, and I come from a rugby background. I played golf maybe combined total 6 months over my whole life. But because I've done strength training, Olympic lifting style training, it has a high carryover, and because I can, deadlift twice my body weight, squat at least 1.5 times my body weight, it has a nice carryover effect to actually working on my golf swing, to acquiring the skill to put my body into an ideal position. Now you're thinking it's like, oh, look, my kid's only going to be playing junior level, blah, blah, blah. But your child will actually start to enjoy training a lot more if you do, or actually acquire skills a lot quicker and actually be able to further develop them in terms of not focusing so much on skills, but focusing more on the tactical side, or focusing on other skills that they feel like they may be lagging. And then they'll actually start to enjoy the game. And this is like what they want. They want to be part of something and enjoy it, knowing that they're performing at a really good level, or they find that's an appropriate level for them. Then if they are performing at a high level, then potentially they might be scouted. They might be scouted to go to a representative program, or potentially play AFLW. And in saying that, you're going to be facing there's always going to be someone who's bigger than you and stronger than you. In any competition, there's always one person out there, and usually they're the ones you need to be prepared for. So you need to be hope for the best, but you'll be prepared for the worst. And this is a prime example. There's always someone bigger than you and stronger than you. So you're going to make sure that you can deal with them when it actually comes to the occasion, if it does arise. I guess I'm going to wrap it up. So strength training for women's football, I totally thumbs up. You're not going to get bulky and become a bodybuilder because you suddenly start lifting weights. There is an appropriate way to actually getting females into strength training that don't feel like they're putting on weight, but actually getting bigger. I won't say bigger, but getting faster and stronger and more. What's the word? Just more robust, essentially. That they'll be able to recover quicker, less likelihood of obtaining injuries, but we actually increase their ability to acquire certain skills. So they might be able to kick certain distances with greater accuracy. They'll be able to kick with less fatigue. If you're stronger, the fatigue of you practicing kicking, it's going to take a lot longer to acquire than someone who has low level of strength. So if you're high level of strength, you can practice that skill for a lot longer and start to hone in and refine. And for someone who has low level of strength, they're going to get fatigued really quickly, and they don't practice quality. Just going to leave it there. As always, every Monday night, I'll be back on time next week. Peace.